Lord, I thank you for sunshine, thank you for rain, thank you for joy, thank you for pain. It's a beautiful day. Cletus. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. And there's the sunshine. This way. Over here. Hey, right here. Right here. Right here. Oh yeah, look at that. Been waiting for that. Came out late today. 8:20, 8:30. Feeling the stress. Feeling it of the holidays. I mean, I stay positive, but I still feel it, right? Like, oh, and killing it. Killing it. Working hard. Bringing in that cheddar cheese. But it goes out just as fast as it comes in. I guess I don't help with that because I've been really exploring the mushroom thing. But I'm also like, I can't say that it's extremely well managed. Maybe I just work harder. Anyways, you know, we all have stresses like that. Hey. Ha. Let me see your face. Let me see that face. Oh yeah. It's so sunshiny. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. I guess when I change from front to back, it like cuts it off. It's also interesting that there's two microphones. When there's a front camera, the microphone's someplace else. So it sounds different. Which is whatever. I mean, they both sound okay. Although that front one, on occasion, sounds a little bit like, you know, like that filter that's like anxious. It's like, oh, what are we going to do? Cletus. What are you doing? Sniffing trash? There's a car coming. Sit. Sit. Good boy. Good boy. Oh, let me try. I think this one, you know, it works good, but the tilt on this DJI thing isn't as deep. And then the microphone. Oh, look at that. I'm just learning new things today. It's got like a hinge on it. I dig that. Oh, I got that pop mic. So I do have that thing. But I'm making it a Christmas gift from my wife. So I can get something that I want. And so I really want it, but hey, it's called delayed gratification. I need to practice it more often. Like, if I want something, just hold off a bit. Too quick to just get it. Like this thing. Although I'm taking a video every day, so I'm like, I justified it. And now that I know that that thing has a hinge on it, it's incredible. It's the best thing ever. I mean, my arm is like right at my side, pinned to my side. My man boobs. I'm working on that, all right? Don't judge me. Oh boy. Oh boy. Hey Cletus, come here. Come here. Morning. Hey. He loves this dog. Loves this dog. It's like, if I could just get a sniff, just a whiff of that. Just a whiff of it. Just a whiff of it. Oh. I love Cletus. Hey Cletus. I love Cletus. It's like perfectly on him. It's like he's the start of the show. Not anymore. Screw you, Cletus. I'm the star of the show. Me. Cletus. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. Haven't really talked about anything other than the stress. The stress of holidays. Consumerism. Which is like what? It's kind of like the dopamine. It's like, oh, I just bought something. I like that. It's like giving a dog a treat. I just tend to give this dog a treat more than it needs to. It's like a self-aggrandized, what's the word? Entitled. Codependent. Like, come on. Maybe what did you have to do to break your habit, right? You know, when I was like 17, I tried something they called it robo tripping. And it was like the active ingredient in Robitussin. Also, Quercetin, cold and cough. Started that when I was 17 years old. Among other things that I did, but that was the most habitual. It was a disassociative. So it like, you know, it made me disassociate myself with or I don't even know how to explain it. Like, to me, it was like, you know, my mom would tell me that alcohol make you super social. and like outgoing and all this stuff. Alcohol never did that for me. I was pretty aware with alcohol. I mean, it did loosen me up, but it wasn't like drastic change. But with that Robitussin, robo-tripping, I was like a different person. Actually, at one point, one of my friends at the time, Nick, he's like, when you're on, when you're using, what do they call it? DXM, dextromorphin. When you're on that stuff, you're more normal than when you're off of it. Like, that's bizarre, right? That stuck with me because there was a part of that really struck true, right? Like, I was so walled up and uptight and fearful when I wasn't on it that I just stay right here, right in the comfort zone. But when I was on it, it was like I could disassociate with that part. And I did it so much because, why anybody does drugs. They have brokenness within themselves. Not that I don't have that now, but like my biggest addiction would be food. And maybe spending money is an addiction. All of which I've been able to control with will, and at times it falls back because there's no purpose. Anyways, back to the story. I did that stuff like all the time with friends, and then once I got older, it was just by myself. Like, none of my friends really did it anymore. I just did it by myself. Into my 20s, I had to be like 22. Yep. It was all the way up to like 23, 24 that I did this stuff. That's a long time. And there's no doubt that there was some pathways that, they say you do something long enough, it changes the way your brain, the pathways, neural pathways operate, or their elasticity, or whatever the words are. So, you steal all the time. I did do that when I was 17. It became much easier to steal. So it's just there. And it bypasses the conscience, or that part. It's more instinctual. Well, you've deadened your conscience in that sense. But what else? Or just like any drugs, or what was I actually thinking of? Like dopamine, like ADHD type stuff, where this nasty smell around here, man. Your brain isn't functioning in certain areas because it's been trained so well in that one pathway, a way of handling life. I'm like, it kind of seems like with that stuff, there's been some of that. Like, so much of that I used for so long that there's like lingering effects of that lie, right? That said, you were more normal on that stuff than you weren't. than you were when you were off of it, which is fucked up. It's like some pharmaceutical, terrible fucking drug. I wreaked havoc on myself, and I'm pretty young, so who knows what the effects are of that on the stomach, on everything. But I'm still here. I just wonder about that, because I've been contemplating, like, kind of diving into the psychedelic, what do they call that? I always forget this name. I can't seem to pronounce it. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever the name is for the active chemical in the magic mushrooms. Really interested in that, like healing, spiritual healing, natural healing things. Kind of like ayahuasca, but that seems like mushrooms are easier to get a hold of, but of course this is all hypothetical. I wouldn't actually do that or condone that. But it's just the thought process, right? Like, people are on mind-altering drugs, like, every day of the week. Everybody, tons of people around you. They just are approved pharmaceuticals. Got your SSRIs, you got your, I don't know what they all are. Prozac. Wellbutrin. I think that's an SSRI. They do all sorts of things to your consciousness. And I would argue that's all, like, almost like in a negative way, right? There's all sorts of other stuff in that. And it's not a one and done, it's a chronic drug. Just keep taking it until you're like, you know what, I'm tired of taking this stuff. I'm just gonna deal with it, or attempt to deal with it. And then, you know, with my case, I took all that stuff and it kind of, you know, had an effect. But then there was the other effects where it was like, there was no joy. There was no like deep sadness, depression, but there was also no joy. Everything was just bland. Everything was just vanilla. And, you know, that's kind of like a mean thing to say about vanilla, because I love vanilla. I don't think vanilla is even vanilla, you know, in that sense. I'm like rambling. Vanilla's not really vanilla. But, you know, those have effects, arguably longer term effects than natural substances. Like, the reason that I used weed was to, like, medicate. Using it like a drug, like any other thing. It's just not a pharmaceutical, you know? I mean, obviously, marijuana is more mainstream. I mean, it's medicinal marijuana. But it doesn't only end there. Like, there are so many natural substances that work to remedy the body and, like, heal it. It's pretty incredible. I feel as though, like, almost like the mushroom thing is like divine timing, right? It's like healing the body, whereas everything around us is trying to destroy us. I mean, there's this lie going around that we're a scourge. We're like a virus on the earth. And it's all based on evolution and bullshit. I mean, even the mushroom scientists, both the movies that I've watched, were like, what'd you call, like, they're movies that are capturing a movement, right? These are things that happen all the time, where it starts becoming normalized by, like, quote unquote mainstream sources, because it's already happening. So they capture that attention and try to direct it. Like with the law stuff, they sort of do that. Flat earth stuff, they definitely do that. But with the mushrooms, like both these movies, based on an evolutionary concept, theory, not proven, and they're basing findings on this stuff, which is kind of, not scientific, because they claim they can tell how old things are, but they cannot. It's all models, and they don't know the answers to that. They assume things degrade and certain things are different depths. But that's all nonsense. You can't tell that. You don't know how that got there. Like with water, if there's a lot of flooding, the densities are gonna go by, or it's gonna be sorted by density rather than age. But anyways, that's beside the point. That's becoming mainstream, but both these movies incorporate sort of the medical industry, like regulating it to mainstream and then having it become part of a like substance that you go buy, and then it just becomes I don't know, they just destroy it essentially. Just like with food, like, oh, we're gonna make it taste better, we're gonna make it more, and then you find out like you're getting sold a bill of goods and it's more about profit than anything else. And of course it is. And I guess there's not always something wrong with that, so skepticism is normal, but I just found it interesting. Both the movies were very heavily in mainstream ideologies when the actual drug itself is from like a natural period. And what happens within that like trip, does that change how you see the world, or is it actually just depends on how it's guided? I don't know. But I'm really intrigued by mushrooms, and I do this a lot though, where look at that red part of the house, where I fixate on something that's fascinating me at the time, and then it dies down. But I'm still fixated on the flat earth. I'm still fixated on, I don't know, a lot of things. My garage doors are fricked up. Yeah. So we'll see where this goes. I mean, I am very interested. I really want to start like growing the mushrooms, but that requires a little bit of forethought and planning, and delayed gratification. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, I'm setting an intention right now that I'll be growing some lion's mane and maybe some psilocybin. That's what it's called. No, I won't be doing that. That's illegal. Right? This is non-medical advice. Anything I say is just some whack job on the internet. Why would you listen to him? Why would you consider it? I don't know. That's up to you. As always, may the peace that passes all understanding guard your hearts and your minds through Christ Jesus. Amen. Be blessed. Have a blessed day. I'm going to go have some mushroom coffee now because I'm addicted to it. Bye. Love you. Blessed. Bye. Bye-bye.